Hello, everyone. Hello to all of you energy enthusiasts all over the world. Welcome to a new episode of the Global Energy Community Podcast. I'm Rodrigo Ceballos, and today we have a new guest. His name is Kunanon Kongsomwach. Kunanon, can you introduce yourself, please?
Hi everyone, my name is Kunanon from Thailand. Currently, I work for oil and gas industry in Thailand. For my education background, I got the master degrees in safety engineering and also the environmental management. Nice to meet you all.
Thank you, Kunanon. Thanks for taking a bit of your time to be part of this podcast. Today, we're going to talk about hydropower plants. And just as a quick introduction, hydropower is energy generated from water resources like the ocean, waterfalls, and rivers. And because water constantly moves through a global cycle, its movement can be harnessed to generate electricity or to drive machinery. And because water is an infinite resource, its cycle provides an endless recharging system, making it a renewable energy source. So, Kunanon, let's get started. Could you tell us more about this place?
Yes, you are right. Hydropower is considered as a renewable energy because it uses the Earth's natural water cycle to generate electricity. No direct emissions are released. So, it is considered as a clean form of energy generation. Hydropower is used for provide homes and businesses with electricity. It's also used for power machinery.
Yes, that's true. And by the way, we know that humans have been using the energy of river currents for centuries, using water wheels spun by rivers initially to process grains and cloth, for example. Kunanon, could you tell us about other historical facts regarding hydropower?
Let's get back to 1880. A dynamo driven by water turbine was used to provide arc lighting to the theater and storefront in Michigan. 1 year later, a dynamo connected to the turbine in the flour mill provided street lighting in Niagara Falls, New York. Both of these are used direct current technology. The development in alternating current, which is the method that we use nowadays, allow power to transmit longer distance and usher in the first US commercial installation.
Yes, that's actually a modern way of the technology which is around us every day, all the time. And according to the International Energy Agency, 17% of the world's electricity is supplied by hydropower. This is the most widely used renewable energy source in the world. However, although this might be a simple question, how does it work, Kunanon?
Of course. Let me explain. Basically, a modern hydropower plant is comprises of a reservoir, dam, penstock, turbines, and generators. The reservoir stores the fuel and allows operators to control how much the water is fed to the turbines. Water from the reservoir is delivered to the turbines through the intake or dam gates and penstock. A filtering system at the intake further cleans up the water to ensure that it is relatively free of suspended solid, which could damage to the turbine's blade. The water wheel of the past has evolved into the modern turbine, differing mainly in their blade shape and configuration. Regardless of design, the turbine converts kinetic energy of movement of falling water into mechanical energy.
That's correct. I can't argue with that, Kunanon. Hydropower plants have advantages and disadvantages. For example, one of the most popular pros is that a dam has been built and the equipment installed. The energy source, the flowing water, is free. So it's a clean fuel source renewed by snow and rainfall. And hydropower plants can supply large amounts of electricity, and they are relatively easy to adjust for demand by controlling the flow of water through the turbines. Would you like to add something else, Kunanon?
Well, according to the research, big dam projects can disrupt water ecosystem and surround communities, harming wildlife and forcing out residents. For example, dams also prevent fish such as salmon from swimming upstream to the spawn. Still, the presence of hydroelectric dams can often change migration patterns and hurt fish populations. Hydropower plants can also cause low dissolved oxygen levels in the water, which is harmful to the river habitats.
Well, however, Some argue that the environmental impacts of hydroelectric power can be mitigated and remain low compared with burning fossil fuels. What do you think about this?
In some places, small hydro projects can take advantage of existing water flows or infrastructure. Special water intakes and turbines can help make sure water released from the dam is better aerated to address the problem of low dissolved oxygen. For example, dams can be planned more statically to allow fish passage, while water flows at the existing dam can be calibrated to give ecosystem more recovery time from flooding cycles. And research continues on the way to make hydropower projects more friendly to ecosystem around them.
So, I guess that there might be different types of hydropowers. It seems to me the first pointed out and memorable type is run of the river, which is used for smaller scale power generation. As water flows down the river, it turns a turbine in a similar way to dam, and the turbine is connected to a generator, and then the electricity is distributed. And what else, Kunanon? What could you add?
It takes three other types: impoundment, pump storage, and tidal power. The most common type of hydropower facility is impoundment, which makes use of the reservoir. The water is stored in the reservoir and when released, is channeled through a turbine. The turbine spins, which then activates the generator that produces electricity. Next, pump storage. This method works in a similar way to the impoundment, except two reservoirs are used to harness the movement of the water. The reservoirs are situated at the different elevation and provide electricity on demand. And finally, tidal power. This method uses the flow of water from the sea to generate energy. Because the tides have predictable movements, large amounts of energy can be generated from the tidal facility twice a week.
Well, that was very informative, Kuno. I guess that we had a great conversation about hydropower plants, and I believe that our listeners have got acquainted with this topic. I would like to thank you for your time and for sharing your knowledge, mate.
Thank you everyone for listening today, and we hope to see you next time. And goodbye.
As Kunanon say, see you next week on the next episode of the Global Energy Community Podcast. Goodbye.